first time a fashion show has been conducted on top of a cruise deck.
Fashion and architecture combined for a one-of-a-kind show at the World Trade Center tonight.
That's right.
Model and entrepreneur Jessica Minh Anh transformed the Eiffel Tower in Paris into the world's newest catwalk.
The J Autumn Fashion Show was a magical international fashion journey atop the Grand Canyon Skywalk.
Jessica Minh Anh organised the first ever fashion show on Tower Bridge.
Now, and she's also made a first in Malaysia, and this time at the Sky Bridge at the Petronas Twin Towers.
Jessica Minh Anh is not your typical fashionista. We go now to Seville in Spain, where the model and entrepreneur is hosting the world's first solar-powered fashion show.
When Jessica Minh Anh puts on fashion shows around the world, she takes the ordinary and really turns it into something extraordinary.
My name is Jessica Minh Anh, and I transform the world's most iconic venue into phenomenal catwalks.
Hello and welcome to Talk Vietnam. I'm Michael Liu. So in this week's edition, we get to speak to Jessica Minh Anh about how she's transformed some of the world's most iconic locations into her own personal catwalk over the past 10 years. Hello, Jessica. You look absolutely dapper today.
Thank you. You too.
Cheers. So CNN has heralded you as the queen of the runway stunts. So which of these stunts have been your favorite shows and what makes them special?
It's quite difficult to answer because I love them all. Each of them has its own meaning, and I always try to do my very best to surprise people. Some of the very iconic catwalks has been the one on One World Trade Center when I did the show 6 months before the tower was officially open to the public, which is a huge deal because that is the new symbol of hope and freedom of America. And obviously the most recent one, which is the fashion show at Joma Solar. It's Spanish solar power plant, and it is the world's first ever catwalk that is held in such a location. This show is special because it does not only portray my usual combination of art, culture, architecture and fashion, but also promote the modern technology and the renewable energy, which is quite appreciated by a lot of different media. I think it is very important for people to realize that fashion show is no longer just the place to showcase beauty, but also to make sure that we will remember many other important things in life.
What is the drive behind you choosing these landmarks?
I think the very first show that I did, which is called the world's history-making catwalk on London's Tower Bridge, that was when I realized this is exactly the path I want to follow. At that point in time, I realized that there's no point to be the second. You always have to be the first. You always need to find something that people haven't done before to try to make sure that you inspire people. And that's what I've been trying to do for the past few years. So each and every venue that I've come across really have a big impact on me and my team. And we always make sure that everyone has a good time.
So can you tell us, all these locations are great, iconic and really famous, but how did you choose these locations? What criteria are needed for a location to make it as a Jessica Minh Anh special?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. There are two types of location that I've decided that I would be interested in focusing on. The first one are all the iconic monuments of the world that matter to each country. So we're talking about London's Tower Bridge, One World Trade Center. We also talk about the Eiffel Tower and Petronas Twin Tower Sky Bridge, for example. So obviously these are the very valuable architectural wonders of the world. And then there's the other type of location, which more showcase a creative idea in terms of bringing models and the designs together. For example, the one that I did on the Hudson River and on the Seine River in Paris, where I tried to have a concept of model walking on water and have the entire background, evolving throughout the show and showcase different architectural wonder all around Paris and combine fashion and also Paris together, and or New York. in the case of Hudson River. So that is a different concept. And the same thing goes with the Grand Canyon Skywalk. I did the show on the Grand Canyon Skywalk in 2013, and that's the world's highest fashion show so far until now, at 4,000 feet above the Colorado River. And this show, with the concept of model working in the sky, we can see the beautiful Grand Canyon, which is a natural wonder, and at the same time the beautiful clothes that was inspired by the Grand Canyon. So as you can see, there are two clear directions that I go forward with my shows.
I'm standing right at the most outstanding venue on Earth. This is the Grand Canyon Skywalk at the extreme height of 4,000 feet over the famous Colorado River.
Grand Canyon Resort Corporation and the Wallapai Tribe have teamed with Jessica and her organization to bring high fashion to the Grand Canyon and the Wallapai Indian Reservation. We decided to team with Jessica on this particular production because, for one, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a location like this. With the beauty of the Grand Canyon and the structure that we're here on, which is the Skywalk, her market is similar to ours in that it's international. We have a very international reach. We have people that visit us from every continent, every country in the world every year. Similar to her fashion, her style, her followers are international, just like ours. It's very global.
The hairstyle was designed with the thought of art and nature combined. We wanted to capture the curves of the sky bridge, the beautiful nature of the canyon, and that's kind of what I wanted to create.
Let's go back to the beginning where you started off as a model as well.
Sure.
I noticed that you have an IT background, right?
Yeah.
How did your passion for fashion sort of begin? How did you make the shift from IT to fashion? And did you have to train to become a model?
First of all, I think my IT background really helps with what I'm doing right now. And I think anything that you're good at is always going to support you in the long run. And it's not just IT, but also my skills and my experience in marketing and PR also help with what I'm doing now, because I'm not just a model, but also a fashion show producer and a director. So any skills that you get will help you to communicate with people that you work with a lot faster and easier as we speak the common language. In terms of being a model, obviously, I think it is important, first of all, to have the right proportion for the industry. And a lot of people didn't realize that. I mean, of course, everyone wants to be certain, have a dream from small to be certain thing, but it's important to also realize what you actually have. And if you do have them, then you try your best.
What were the difficulties, what were the greatest challenges you experienced when you started off your career in England, in London?
Well, first of all, I've been organizing shows all my life. So it's not the first thing that I did when I graduated in England, because I was studying in Malaysia, as I'm sure you know. And during that time, I was also organizing a lot of entertainment and cultural event as well, with a committee of hundreds of people for thousands of people. So organizing events has always been my thing. And to combine it with fashion, which is what I'm passionate about, and the fact that I know the industry probably a little bit more than other event organizers, just make it perfect to combine these two together. So when I started, I think it is quite difficult to pinpoint one difficulty, considering the fact that I always find anything that is not as easy as others as a challenge to overcome, and they really excite me. The road has been quite smooth for me in a way, just because anything that was thrown at me was also something that helped me.
J Autumn Fashion Show 2015, we are doing a glowy look. We want the model to feel fierce, great models, great view, it's just amazing.
With the latest show of yours, which was done on the Seine River, what were the challenges of bringing a show to the water?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say that this is one of my favorite concepts because usually as a model, when I walk on the usual catwalk, the background is always the same. So after a few rounds of walking up and down, you might feel a little bit bored. But this particular show is impossible for either the model or the audience to be bored because the background changes constantly. So I have guests seated facing the multifaceted glass window surrounding the glass boat on the Seine River, and models walking in front of them while the boat was cruising, as if they were walking on water. So as a result, all the architectural wonders such as the Eiffel Tower or Notre Dame or 37 bridges become the natural backdrop for the catwalk. And with this concept, there are a lot of other challenges that we face. For example, we need to make sure that the setting of the lights are consistent because it changes throughout the boat and throughout the day as well. And obviously, we want the perfect photos and videos. So that's one of the challenges that we face to make sure that the technical part is, spot on. And then, obviously, we also need to make sure that, all the other part of the preparation is ready. We have a very multicultural team from all around the world.
Nice.
My team is from the US, from Italy, from France, obviously, from the UK, Netherlands, and many other countries. And in order to unite everyone, obviously, we need to find a mutual language that speaks to everyone. And usually, that's a passion for fashion.
So these locations are really iconic. They're really famous. What have been the challenges behind choosing these locations and how have you overcome this?
Well, each location is very different from the other, which is why the challenges are also very different. For example, the one on London's Tower Bridge, the first difficulty is the technical difficulties and also the time constraint. We only have 2 hours to get in, set up the whole thing, and have the first model walk on the catwalk. We managed to do that, and we thought that that was the most difficult one. But then when we went to Jomasola recently, for that particular show, there has been a lot of challenges that we need to overcome. For example, there were a big storm right before the show, and that made everything a lot more difficult due to the fact that the entire backstage area was destroyed. So everyone was really upset and very nervous at that point. And I decided that it's best to use the bus that we carried models to the plant to use as a new backstage area. So we set up everything very quickly in half an hour and carried on with the show like everything is normal. And that was one show that I was really proud of our problem-solving situation.
Hi, this is Jessica from J Model Management, and I'm standing on the OCBC Skyway. This beautiful walkway is part of Gardens by the Bay, and it is a 128 meters long catwalk.
I'm very impressed with the setup of J Spring showcase by Jessica, Minh Anh. It's an unconventional idea.
I think the J Spring fashion show was amazing. It's so unconventional and I have no idea why it was never done before. The phenomenal dresses by Jatnakat, they are so feminine, so wearable. We simply loved it. All the detailing, the florals, that was so complimentary to the venue. And I think the setting was really, really beautiful that morning. Very, very amazing.
So how long does it take your team to organize each show, and how much effort is put into that?
Okay, there are usually around 3 months of preparation, but sometimes it takes only 1.5 months. So it really depends on the time that we confirm the venue and the time that we need the show to be out. Whatever the time it is, we will roll with it and we'll make it happen. Normally, a fashion show of this scale takes around 6 months to a year to achieve. So the only way that we can do it is we really work around the clock. We work 3 times, 4 times harder than the usual.
One question that I've always had is your shows usually, have the most fabulous and magnificent sceneries behind. Do you reckon these kind of takes away from the show? Do you reckon it sort of detracts from the clothing?
No, I think it's the opposite, because I think the most beautiful design should be showcased at the best of location, and this location will not take anything away from the clothes, but actually make the clothes look even better and more grand. And I've seen in so many cases that the designers get inspired by the location that announce, that they make the collection accordingly, and at the same time, sometime after experiencing the show, they have ideas for the new collection as well. So it's actually support and complement the clothes instead of the other way around.
So what has inspired all this creativity of yours, your creative energy?
I'm inspired by art, architecture, culture and fashion, and recently technology. I think to be able to combine all these factors into one show is a lot more exciting than just focusing on one side of it, like fashion and beauty. And I always try to find a new way to surprise people. It is quite difficult, getting more and more difficult, considering the fact that people expect a lot from me. But I think the energy usually comes from my desire to succeed and to really inspire other people to be as happy as I am in what I do. We'll introduce you to an award-winning solar power plant called Germa Solar. This engineering marvel is a global symbol for sustainability and innovation.
Designed by Senar, Germa Solar is part of the next generation of power plants and represents the future, as Jessica does in fashion. It is an honor to Torres Sol Energy to have her transform Germa Solar into the first ever solar-powered catwalk.
As an IT specialist, I'm intrigued by the technical aspect of this plant. Germa Solar pioneering methods of producing electricity 24/7 using only the sun makes this plant one of the most important engineering works to date. On the other hand, as a fashion show producer, I can vividly see my perfect catwalk right in the middle of Germa Solar. This special runway is surrounded by the cinematic backdrop of the famous Central Tower and thousands of shining mirrors. I'm particularly passionate about this project because we have an opportunity to not only promote fashion and beauty, but also celebrate the best of advanced technology and environmental preservation. Welcome to the Sunshine Catwalk.
So as a fashion event organizer, and you know how fashion evolves all the time, it gets really competitive. Can you share with us how competitive is it actually, and how have you managed to sort of stay in contest?
I think in the event industry is a little bit different from fashion when you do the design, and the designs really evolve and you have to see the consumer's perspective as well. But in event management, I think we have found a niche which is trying to do things that people have never done before. We're always the first to secure a very exclusive venue that people can only dream of. So we don't really have competition in the industry.
Now, how do you balance, you know, your time between being an event organizer and a model?
I think you need to really pick what is the most suitable thing for you. Nowadays, as the director of J Model Management, and because I run 3 shows per year, my time, most of the time, would be on the event coordination side. And I love being behind the scene, making sure that everything goes according to the plan, and coordinate with a lot of different parties, from our partners to the media, and obviously training my team as well from so many different culture and background. And I will pick the designers that I'm really passionate about and have been working with for a while, or some new designer, but I really love their work, especially to work with. So I would say currently it's around 70-30.
So have you been visiting Vietnam often?
I've been back in Vietnam probably once a year or once in 2 years, and I'm obviously very excited whenever I come back because my family is here, so it's always great to visit.
So has Vietnam ever come across your mind when it comes to doing your work?
So a lot of people have been asking this question, and I know that we have a lot of very beautiful natural wonders. So I have been looking into it. Obviously, all of my venues are always a secret, so I won't be able to reveal right now, but I would definitely think about Vietnam as a destination for one of my catwalk in the future.
During her recent visit to Vietnam, Jessica Minh Anh spoke to many students at FET University about how to think big and dream big and inspire them. Let's check this out in the following story.
After the phenomenal success of the J Autumn Fashion Show 2015 on the Seine River in Paris, Jessica Minh Anh flew back to Hanoi for a short visit. Appearing at a talk show organized at FET University, the model and fashion show producer met with hundreds of students and graduates at the talk show, a story on how to be successful, to share her experience in event management and fashion show production.
The most important things that I want to tell all the students is to have courage and follow their dream. There are a lot of difficulties along the way as usual, but that doesn't mean that they need to stop doing what they want to do, and they should never give up. I think that's really, really important.
Through the open talk show at FET University, she helped students understand how to enrich their knowledge and skills when working in different fields and how to develop a set of career options.
Về ý tưởng, về sự sáng tạo thì lúc nào chị Minh Anh cũng khao khát tạo ra sự khác biệt, luôn có những ý tưởng đổi mới, và có những vấn đề lúc nào mình cũng phải tìm tòi và cách giải quyết vấn đề ra sao, và sự khác biệt của giá trị bản thân mình là gì, giá trị của sản phẩm mình là gì.
Buổi tối hôm nay là một buổi tối rất là thú vị, bởi vì chị Minh Anh chị đã inspire cho em rất là nhiều. Em nhận thấy rằng là rõ ràng mình làm gì thì cũng cần phải rất là cố gắng, và kiểu là phải cố gắng hết sức để đạt được cái điều mà mình mong muốn cho tương lai ạ.
Model and young entrepreneur Jessica Minh Anh loves to challenge herself. About 3 to 4 fashion shows per year on different continents and a 3-month preparation for each show caused her continuous effort to produce daring and creative events.
What was the most important message that you wanted to deliver to the students, to the Vietnamese students?
I wanted them to know that it is important for them to find out what it is that they want to do with their life and then follow their dreams, because a lot of people might be afraid of certain things. They might want something, but they're not sure if they're capable of it. So it is important for them to know that everything is possible, and they just really need to do their very best to make it happen.
Many Vietnamese people working in the fashion industry these days, they aspire to be like you, even the people in the event management industry as well. They want to be as successful as you are. What's your advice to them?
I think the first and foremost is to be able to focus on quality, because in order to be able to have a loyal set of clients and also to make people notice you and your work, you need to have substance. So in order to do that, obviously they need to be very well organized. They need to have real skills and also experience and knowledge about the field that they're doing. And once they've already mastered that, then the next step that they would need is a PR campaign, because obviously you're just as good as you are able to show people what you've done. So it is important to combine these two aspects of the promotion and also the substance or quality of your company to be able to succeed.
Do you think Vietnam can make its mark on the world stage of fashion? And what do you think are the criteria needed? What do you think are expected for Vietnam to do this?
I have great confidence that Vietnam will be able to make its mark on the world's fashion scene. In order to do that, we need to obviously support our talents. We have a lot of talents who are able to do great things. They are great designers, or they are great stylists or creative directors, but they need a lot more guidance, and obviously they need the courage of being able to go out there and take some risks to be able to see if they fit, in the criteria of the world.
Jessica, on our idea of having the autumn fashion show here in Paris on the Eiffel Tower, we just couldn't say no. We know that Jessica will turn her fashion show into something unique.
It's very exciting to be in the organization team for the Jessica Fashion Show. I think we are very lucky to work in this amazing place.
We have altogether 104 dresses from altogether 8 different countries.
J Autumn Fashion Show is a dream come true.
It's amazing.
Everything was very well organized.
Very excited.
So honored to be a part of it.
Bienvenue à Paris.
Now you're probably the only Vietnamese fashion event organizer in high fashion in haute couture. Can you please share with us how does it feel and what does it mean to you?
I feel very proud and obviously honored that people really appreciate my work, because obviously whenever you try your very best in something, you always want to make sure that people understand it, appreciate it, and get inspired by it. It is also such a pride to be the only Vietnamese producer out there that is currently doing what I'm doing and successfully. And I think it does thanks to my background. My parents raised me up exactly according to the Vietnamese tradition, being very hardworking, very honest, very loyal, and those qualities really does help in this industry because people want to work with people that they can trust.
So how do you sort of represent Vietnam on the world stage? You know, how do you sort of hoist the colours and show your Vietnamese pride?
I think it is quite obvious that I'm Vietnamese because in all the media that have been covering the shows, starting from CNN or to Le Parisien, they always mention that I am a Vietnamese model and fashion show producer. So I think Vietnam has been mentioning a lot in most of my shows.
So, have you ever incorporated some Vietnamese elements into your work?
Yeah, I have showcased some of the Vietnamese designers before. For example, Hoàng Hải in some of my recent shows on the Eiffel Tower or on the Seine Paris before and at Jumasola as well. I think Vietnam in general has a lot of talent, and I think it is very important for us to be able to recognize them and to appreciate them and support them in a way so that they could, you know, spread their wings and fly out to the world as well, a lot more than now.
So you are quite a successful youth. How do you think, you know, people like you can contribute to Vietnam? What have you got on offer for the country?
First of all, I've been doing the internship program for a lot of students from overseas, so many countries, and I had trained one of the Vietnamese students as well. And now that she's back in Vietnam, she's in event management as well and doing great things. So I think if Vietnamese students go abroad and they would be interested in different aspects of the training, then I'll be able to help them. And at the same time, I really encourage the students to go abroad more, to gain more experience, so that they would be able to see the bigger picture and they can come back and contribute to the country.
I just arrived at the official J Summer Fashion Show photo shoot 2014. I'm standing on level 63 of the new One World Trade Center. The view is phenomenal. At 1,776 feet high, this building represents the strength of the new generation. Similar to our previous catwalks, this show will present a combination of haute couture, high-end ready-to-wear, and activewear collections from different continents. As you can see, cultural integration has been a highlight in all of our productions. We value unity, creativity, and diversity. I think it's important to keep reminding people that there's always hope and the future is bright.
What is the secret behind your success?
I think it is very important for me to be able to do things I love, and then I will have all the energy and the time in the world to contribute to my work, which is what I'm doing now. So the first secret is doing what I'm passionate about. And then I also need to obviously be extremely hardworking because this is a very competitive industry. And if you fall behind, relax a little, then somebody will be able to overtake you. So that is obviously not acceptable in my definition. It is important to always stay on top, being well informed, and do what you love.
So how important do you think are Vietnamese qualities, and sort of traits of the Vietnamese culture in your success? Where does it stand?
I think I was very lucky to be raised in a very traditional Vietnamese family, because my parents have always mentioned very important qualities of Vietnamese people in raising me, such as being very hardworking, being very loyal, being very honest. And these qualities really helped me to stand out as well, because in the working environment, I've realized that people really treasure those who are very trustworthy and obviously who are dedicated and contribute to the max of their ability. And therefore, I think I'm really proud to be a Vietnamese.
So you're considered a successful woman. You've basically got it all. You've got wealth, you've got fame, you've got everything that a successful entrepreneur wants. What is your definition of happiness then?
To me personally, happiness is when you are able to achieve the goal that you set up for yourself, and then you are able to inspire people with your achievements.
So, speaking of the future locations and plans, what would be your favorite choices?
Well, I have a lot of locations in mind. I think a lot of people have noticed that for the past few years I've been visiting some of the locations a lot of times. For example, the Colosseum in Italy, or Machu Picchu in Peru, or a Christ Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro. So besides obviously the pyramids. So those are some of the locations that I'll be looking into, but I also have some very exciting locations that are a little bit different that I would like to reveal soon.
So speaking of the future now, what does the future hold for Jessica Minh Anh?
I'm very excited about the future. I have a lot of plans, not only in fashion and beauty industry, but also in many other industries as well. Whatever I do, I will stick with the entertainment and the fashion industry, but at the same time venture into other aspects to make sure that it would be even more exciting for everyone to see.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, thanks a lot for joining our show, and we wish you the best of luck with all your future endeavours. And we hope that you get to conquer all the best of locations around the world for your career.
Thank you very much for having me, and I really appreciate being here in Vietnam today.
That's it for this edition of Talk Vietnam. Now, we hope that you have enjoyed our little chat and some insights about being in the fashion industry and how amazing it is to be Jessica Minh Anh. So thanks for watching, and until next time.